I'm Ryan.
And I'm Andrew from the Dad.io podcast, a podcast member of the Gonna Geek Network. Just like the show you're listening to now.
The opinions expressed are those of each individual host. Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. And get ready, because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 336 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. This is recorded live on Sunday, November 18th, 2018. And I just realized as we start the show, on my clock it says it's 11:18 a.m., so I have 11:18 over 11:18:18 on my taskbar. So I'm very confused, and I don't know why that entertained me so much.
Well, what about the 2018 part?
It got shortened to 18.
You gotta wait till what, 8 o'clock tonight? At 8:18?
I see what you're getting at. If I wait for that at 11... Oh my god, my brain's going to explode. Why did you do
I mean,
this
we
to
can only
me?
hope.
Why? Damn you, Willie. Damn you straight to hell.
Didn't last week we had 11, 11, 11 on 11, 11?
Yes. Damn you straight to hell, Willie, for putting that in my head.
Where else would I go?
Purgatory.
On the road again?
That's where the monsters go.
Hell or purgatory?
Purgatory.
Or on the road?
You had to have a soul to go to hell for punishment. If you don't have a soul, you go to purgatory.
I don't know if I believe in those things, but
And you just get
them.
You just get hunted by Dean Winchester forever.
I mean, things can exist without me believing in them, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Never seen a duck-billed platypus. I'm not 100% sure they exist because that just seems like fucking crazy as hell.
I'd put
Hadouken,
Tasmanian
by the way.
devils in the same category.
Hadouken, by the way. Just putting that out there.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm getting rid of it. I didn't think of it. It's early. I woke up and just jumped up.
When the Street Fighter team comes after us for putting their sound effect in our podcast, I
You
know
mean
who to blame.
Capcom?
Yeah.
Willie and his phone duking.
And it's not like it's music. It's a sound bite.
They don't
It's
care.
advertisement.
They're getting their money if they can. They're going to sue us, and it's going to be your fault, Willie.
Well, you know who's probably going to sue me?
I'm sure lots of people, but who are you meaning specifically?
Some of my friends.
Why are your friends going to sue you?
Because they have a new little kitten. And my friend
Did
James...
you drop kick the kitten?
No. And I'm starting to convince people to name it Little Willie or Lil Will.
Lil Wills? Is that what they're going to call it?
Lil Will. No S in there. Ooh, maybe Little Willis. Maybe they'll go with that one.
Which, as in what you talking about?
Yep. What you talking about, Lil Willis? Because he does mew a lot when he's like, meow. Like, but I can't do it because it's so weird of a mew.
I'm kind of enjoying you trying to do it, though, I'll be honest.
That's the best I can do. That sounds actually pretty close.
Now you just sound like something dying.
I was trying to sound like the
I
THX.
do have to ask, was that a 2-liter of Mountain Dew I saw?
Excuse me.
They have sponsored me pretty damn good today.
Willie, it's a bit early in the morning to be hitting the Mountain Dew. You all right over there, buddy?
That's how I finished last night.
I just
Nobody
woke
needs
up
to know that about you.
and I need that jolt of the dew. Are you judging me? Is that what you're doing right now? Are you judging me?
I was worried about you.
Sounds like it.
I'm worried about you, Willie.
You know what? You can't just get diabetes like that shit. It's more hereditary than anything. You can't just develop diabetes.
Right.
I'm
Pretty nothing.
Why don't you talk to Wilford Brimley about the diabetes?
He was born with the diabetes. It came with a mustache.
And a cocoon?
Oh, some comedian was talking about the fact Wilford Brimley was the same age in Cocoon that Tom Cruise is now, making Mission Impossible movies. That's how old Wilford Brimley looks.
Holy shit.
He looked like a senior citizen in a retirement home that needed alien tech to stay alive at the same time that Tom Cruise is now learning how to fly and jump out of helicopters.
Let's also bear in mind how much plastic surgery Tom Cruise has had, too.
And alien help.
Yes,
So
and alien help. He has alien blood running through his veins to make him younger.
Plastic surgery doesn't help his muscles actually, doing all these stunts and everything and
That
running.
is true.
Also, does that mean how old exactly is that age?
I think it was like 50 something. I think.
You want to know how old Tom Cruise is, basically? Because that'll.
No, I want to know how old Rex Grossman is right now.
Rex Grossman, that's a blast from the past. Tom Cruise is 56 years old, according to Google.
And how old was Wilford Brimley when he was in that Ewok movie?
Let's see. Wilford Brimley was born in 1934, so do all your math from there.
I don't remember when that Ewok movie came out. I just know it was terrible.
I remember those as a kid, and they were great.
Yeah, watch them now.
Of course, they suck now.
They sucked then, too. We just had different eyes we looked at it through.
It was just more Star Wars in your eyes as a kid.
Cocoon came out in 85. Brimley was born in 34, so he was 51 when he did Cocoon.
Damn. That's what you have to be a senior citizen in a movie?
Well, if you look like Wilford Brimley.
Well, hell, apparently to be a MILF, you all 23 is as old as you have to be in porn.
Well, yeah.
They're fucking weird with that shit.
Well, you could theoretically have a kid at age 23, so you could theoretically be a MILF.
You could theoretically have a kid at like 15.
Yes, so theoretically.
When they're saying
you can't reference porn in that young of a person, Bachman. That's nasty.
No, they could do MILF porn when the day they turn 18.
There you go.
Because they already had a kid at 15, and another at 16, and another at 17.
Listen, people, stop having so many kids. The world cannot sustain this amount of kids. Stop having kids. Have one at the most. Two if you really have to, I guess.
Are you in China right now, Willie?
No, but I like their ideals.
All right, then. Well, it was a good show. Thanks, guys. We'll see you all next week when we get shut down for sharing Chinese cultural values that aren't popular here. Bye, guys.
Let me get on top of my red soapbox here.
Communist Willie's here. In Soviet
shit.
China, Willie does this.
Well, I mean, hell, it's either me murdering 2 billion people
This is
or
not getting
it's you
better.
have to start regulating this shit down. Which do you want?
I don't want
Thanos
either.
did nothing wrong.
I
And
want,
Willie didn't either.
Willie, you don't have the strength to wield the Infinity Gauntlet.
Are you sure about that?
I am positive.
'Cause it's not going on my hand.
Then I'm totally sure you don't have the strength to wield it on your foot.
Going on my ding-a-ling.
No, it's going on your foot. God damn it. I knew it was coming and I still
I
laughed.
was going to say, I know you know that was coming.
I knew it was coming and it still made me laugh. What the hell is wrong with me?
I'm just
You're a
that damn good.
demented person.
Oh,
Okay,
Bitch,
so
my ding-a-ling whistles Dixie.
currently there's supposedly 7.53 billion. So your list needs to be 3.765 billion people, Willie. Half.
I'm not. No, I came up with this before Infinity War even plot summary even was a thing. You
Willie,
guys know
Infinity War was written before you were born, I think. Excuse me, the Infinity Gauntlet.
Was that
Yeah.
what Infinity Gauntlet was about? He was trying to destroy half of everybody?
Yep.
More or less.
I don't remember.
Yes.
I never read it.
Then that's why you don't remember it.
Another reason you suck. Yeah, Thanos had been planning this for a lot longer than you have.
Plus, I never wanted half. That was never in my head. I said
I'm
2
saying
billion.
no half measures, you weak ass. If you're gonna do it, do it. Half
And that's
the
my plan.
population.
Well, I'm not going to just murder one at a time because that's stupid. I want 2 billion or nothing. All at once.
Let's see, half measures.
I'm lazy. That's the problem.
Really wants one big genocidal general's murder pit that you can just put 2 billion people in.
And no, don't even think about Hitler or anything. Because I'm not going to sectionalize everyone. I do like Thanos' idea when it's like a lottery. I do like that. I don't want to. It's all course per capita. So I think India is probably going to get charged the most when this pricing needs to get paid, because just per capita, I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, China, I would say, but I mean, they're spread out over long, square miles.
Yeah, they're still the most human, so pretty sure the Chinese are still going to pay the highest toll.
Amount of land. India is the second most in some of the smallest amount of land. That's what I'm getting at.
Just because they're on less land doesn't mean there's less. There's
per capita.
So you're going to do your half per capita?
I'm not doing a half.
So you're only going to kill like 14 Canadians because they have so much territory.
It's more than a quarter. We're closing in on 8 billion people, man. That's too many fucking people in the world, man.
Way past too many people.
I just want to go to a fucking amusement park without having to wait in goddamn lines. Is that such a crime? That's what this all stems from.
You know, you can just buy an express pass at a lot of these amusement parks.
And so does everyone else have that idea. It turns the express pass into another line to wait in. Sure, quicker one.
There?
But 30 minutes is faster than an hour, and that's still 30 minutes I don't want to fucking wait. 15, I'll give it.
Well, that's how I'm doing my trip to Universal's with express passes, so it'll be wonderful.
Well, you remember me talking about when I went to Carowinds, like I was actually looking at that fast pass, like, do I need to get it as soon as we're walking in? I'm like, should I want to get that? I'm glad I didn't because there was no lines for anything.
See, the hotel we're staying at is on site at Universal, so you get early admittance into Universal. Plus, with the express passes, meaning we should be able to get things pretty decently without as much of a wait.
Well, Father's Day, that's apparently the best day to go to these kind of parks.
Because I'm going to Harry Potter World, man. I'm going. It's going to be great.
Okay.
It's going to be awesome.
You gonna have you some butter beer?
Going to get butter beer. You know, I'm going to go.
Is it alcoholic?
And you can get an alcoholic variant, supposedly. That's all I know right there. I'm going to Harry Potter World. It's going to be great.
Ooh, are you gonna get you a wand?
Maybe.
Because they said the Ollivander's saying if you do that first throughout the rest of the area, there's platforms you can stand on, and that actually they interact with the wands if you buy one.
Well, I know I can't guarantee I'll be doing it. I can guarantee my then wife will be doing that because that's our honeymoon is Universal. So.
All right. Don't be doing that because it's just going to cost you money. All you need to do is
everything's going to cost me money, Willie, on this trip.
Yeah. Bring in your remote control because all it is an IR reader, infrared reader.
Yes, he's talking about getting married and taking his wife there for the honeymoon. It's all about he's no longer going to have any money, so he might as well be broke and have fun.
I'm just telling you, can save a little money on a wand. Just get a remote and put a bunch of wood over it.
Yes, because that is going to be something that my then wife will be excited about when all she can talk about now is the wand she is going to get when she goes there. So if I be like, here you go, honey, have this remote control. I've put wood around.
How my cheap-ass husband brought a remote on our honeymoon to save $40.
All right, you guys are starting to sound like my ex-girlfriend here. She was so excited about that place. When I mentioned that, oh, God, I got argumented.
Maybe we have an idea why she's an ex now, you cheap bastard.
No, we know that's because the damn Christmas tree needed superplex. That's why.
That's because Willie always goes Dutch.
No, I never dated a Dutch girl. Not that I'm opposed to it, Dutch girls. Ooh, wink. See, because the listeners can't see me wink, so I had to say the wink part.
I understood fully.
Yep,
yeah, so
completely
BT Dubs,
offended.
we're probably going to be off 2 weeks in Man unless one of you guys want to run the show.
Oh, shit. May 29th of 2025. Jesus Christ.
I already course corrected it.
I don't care. I'm not looking at that.
Okay, then.
That's all right. I think the world could use a break from us.
Actually, you know what? That's a Freudian slip. That's the date of the first show, baby.
May 29th, 2025.
Yep.
Well, Knocky Keith, you guys better get to work. Because it's
You're
not going to be me.
There's gonna be a Harry Potter honeymoon baby.
No.
Watch. It's gonna be hilarious. Watch all three of you guys start having babies right around the same time, and I'm sitting here like,
all three. The fuck you talking about?
There would have to be a catastrophic failure when it comes to birth control for that to happen. Catastrophic.
And it will happen probably.
Oh, he's cursing you.
Willie, you're the one on the show that's probably got a show baby running around.
Or four.
The only one that I was worried about for a split second, there's no way that was mine. The timing just doesn't add up. unless my sperm was saved, and that person's not smart enough to save it.
Maybe you shipped the sperm. I don't know. I got nothing. I forgot what I was going to say.
I don't want to have anything on this conversation.
I don't know why you're having this. You're the one who brought it up.
You're the one talking about show babies and getting me all scared.
Hit him with some fucking abracadabra. Don't be cursing people, Willie. That shit's mean.
It's like the thinner curse instead of babies.
No.
Multiples.
No.
And that's why I don't hit gypsies with my car.
That's the reason?
Yeah.
You have a baby?
Yep.
So,
Because I don't want to get a gypsy curse.
Oh, what was this one conceit? I want to hit a gypsy with a curse this one night.
Oh, God.
Wait, are you telling me you got really horny after hitting a gypsy?
Well, Willie's making himself laugh, so I guess he's at least happy about that.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
If I waited for a chance to try and segue over into News of the Week, it was never going to happen at this rate. So, abruptly, welcome to the News of the Week, folks. It's that part of the show where we run down in our minds what is some of the most interesting, geeky, and or nerdy news to have popped up in the past week. I had no way to transition it. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Willie, are you okay? You look like you're dying on camera.
Yes, I'm talking myself.
I think Willie just peed himself, guys. I think he did.
With my dick.
Which is probably pretty messy because he said he's not wearing pants, so he's probably got a puddle he's sitting in now. I'm sorry for your couch.
Hold on a second. How would pants stop? Stop minimal amount of that. Why would I? How would a puddle not form if I'm just wearing pants?
Maybe you've got really absorbent boxers.
Well, that's boxers, but what if I got
the pants? Can also be absorbent. Maybe you wear absorbent pants because you know you have a peeing problem. I don't know.
Thank you, Chris. I need you to stop laughing.
Yeah, I'm here to help. Like I said, I'm here to help. But I'm pretty sure Anthony has the news that'll prevent you from laughing, though.
Oh, God.
We would tackle mine first.
We have to start with the sad news first and hopefully
yes.
have some happier things to talk about after.
Indeed. All right. One of the first things I learned this week was that apparently most people of the Jewish religion do not use the phrase "rest in peace." So the one that I had been told of when I was posting on Twitter was "May his memory be a blessing." So this week, if you've been under a fucking rock and somehow don't know, we lost Stanley Martin Lieber at 95. Stan Lee passed away, and again, I was just looking up some stuff, and one of the most important things I want to talk about is this. Do you guys know who made Superman?
Siegel and Schuster.
Siegel and Schuster. Do you know who made Wonder Woman?
I should know, but I don't.
William Marston, Harry Peter. Batman.
Bob Kane and Bill Finger.
There we go. The current Hal Jordan Green Lantern.
Oh.
Willie D. Nelson.
John Broome and Jill Kane. Current Barry Allen Flash.
Willie D. Nelson.
Robert Niger and Carmen Infantino. How about Aquaman?
Naki.
Oh.
Mort Weisinger and Paul Norris. Martian Manhunter.
Willie D. Nelson.
Willie did a lot of them. Joseph Samaxian and Joe Carta. I bring that up because if you look at that roster, that's basically the standard Justice League, right? That's the team for DC. That's 14 separate creators. Give us the majority of the books that have kept the DC Comics company running for decades. With 3 artists, with Kirby, Ditko, and Bill Everett, Stan Lee created the Fantastic Four, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, the X-Men, Black Panther, Daredevil, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. So if you add in Kirby with Joe Simon making Captain America, that gives you like 99% of the entire Marvel universe, and 95 of it came out of one guy's head. That's why fucking Stan Lee is so important. He created at a level that nobody else has ever done. I've been constantly referring to him as the modern day Shakespeare. I think he is the first writer whose influence might outlast Shakespeare because he worked on so many characters. He worked on so many different things. And of course, sadly, there was backlash this week as people also talking shit. And the problem is that Stan Lee didn't. It's not that he didn't push his writers or his creators, his co-creators. Stan Lee fucking talked himself up. He was just a hype man. He was like the original comics hype man. But what people need to remember is that he didn't sign a contract that said Jack Kirby never got credit the way Bill Kane did to Bob Finger. Or Bob Kane did to Bill Finger. Stan Lee just talked himself up. But yeah, he served in the military in the U.S. Army in 42. After coming back from the war in 45, went back to work for the comics company Atlas, Timely that became Atlas, that became Marvel. Worked up to editor-in-chief, the publisher, and then chairman emeritus. He was, basically synonymous with Marvel his whole life. But yeah, this guy created more characters that influenced more people than probably anybody ever will in the history of comics. Had a wife for 69 years. They were just short of 70 years when she passed last year. And sadly, he had been fighting against pneumonia. But yeah, if you look on one of the lists I found for just characters created by Stan Lee on the Wikipedia page, says the following 200 pages in this category out of approximately 362. So they don't even have everything listed of all the characters he worked on. And it's just insane. Just the A category: Abomination, Absorbing Man, Acrobat, Actor, Adria, Aged Genghis, Agent X, Aegon, Airwalker, Liz Allen, Amphibian, Ancient One, Annihilus, Ant-Man, Ape-Man, Ares, Asbestos Man, Athena, Atuma, The Avengers, Awesome Android. That's the A's. That's just the fucking A's. This guy spent his almost entire career working in comics and literally changed his name because he thought he was going to leave this crazy kid business of comics and go write the great American novel. And so Stanley Martin Lieber changed his name to Stan Lee because he didn't want to use his real name on comics. And because at the time it was something that they did for a job. It was all post-war, bunch of Jewish kids in New York making comic books. And it was, material that kids read and threw away. Nobody cared. It was just trash entertainment. And so it was one of the things in some of the stories he told, he used to lie at, cocktail parties when people asked him what he did, because it wasn't a cool thing back then to say you wrote comics. And on Marvel's main page on their memory thing, they put up one of his quotes, and I loved it. It's kind of when the things turned around for him. And Stan said, "I used to be embarrassed because I was just a comic book writer while other people were building bridges or going on to medical careers. And then I began to realize entertainment is one of the most important things in people's lives. Without it, they might go off the deep end. I feel that if you're able to entertain, you're doing a good thing." And he realized in his later years the amount of people he had touched, the amount of lives he had influenced, and the fact that basically he gave us all heroes that were human, which was the big difference. Superman, when he came out, was an unstoppable force. It was decades before they actually created something in the comics that could stop him. Stan started off with the Fantastic Four, giving us a team of flawed heroes that hated how they got their powers and were a family dynamic that actually at times hated each other for how they got their powers. Thing and Reed Richards fought all the time about the fact that the Thing couldn't change back, and it was all Reed's fault. We had all of that dynamic of an actual normal human family, and then he followed up. He gave us Spider-Man. He gave us the guiltiest superhero in comics. The guy that Superman doesn't have to feel bad about anything. His planet was dead before he knew about it. He wasn't aware his parents died, and he got gifted the powers of a god. Batman feels bad that his parents died, but he doesn't feel guilty. Spider-Man is the reason his uncle died. And that act alone led to an entire career for a character trying to save everybody he could, because he basically feels guilty because he made a shitty mistake. He made a poor decision in a moment where he was greedy, and he acted like a human. He thought about himself first, didn't help somebody, and that cost him in a way that he never saw coming. Stan Lee gave us characters that were more human and more flawed than basically anybody had ever even thought of doing in comics. And they have the X-Men, which are just stand-ins for every persecuted group in history. They've done stories where it's a direct reflection of racism in our society, a direct reflection of sexism, of homophobia. X-Men stories have been used to basically tell every type of persecution story there has been through the last 60 years. And all of that came from Stan giving us these characters. It's just, it's one of those things where I'll be honest, like when I heard about it, like I spent most of that day, in the morning I went on Twitter and started reading people's accounts of him, and the way he had touched their lives, and all the comic book writers and artists that I follow, and how they got into comics, and how Stan influenced them, and especially the people that worked with him. And like I spent a good part of that day crying, and I had to keep going off of social media and just not reading stuff because it was too much. But yeah, what do you guys got? Because that's basically what I have. But yeah, the Spider-Man's been with me my whole life, and I'm pretty sure he always will be. And I think that's the one character that's given me a better idea of how to be a good person than any influence I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way of putting it, especially when it comes to Spidey and life lessons can be learned from. Man, we all kind of knew this one was coming. He was 95 years old. But
yeah.
In the back of our heads, we're like, hey, he's good. I know he's 95, but Stan Lee's never going to leave us. So as much as we all knew it, we were all kind of in denial about it. So when it actually happens, I mean, I was at the grocery store on Monday buying groceries and stuff, and I got a text from one of my friends, and it was just like, oh, who just kicked me in the chest right now? This kind of sucks. I had to take a second to collect myself, which is really weird to say, but I needed a second, like, get my wind back, it almost felt like. And I was talking to one of my other friends. I was like, this is really kind of stupid. I'm never one of those people. It's like, oh, man, a celebrity death really gets to me. I said, but I think this might be the exception to that. And we were kind of talking it through, and it's just because there's so much stuff that I loved as a kid growing up that I continue to love to this day that either Stan Lee helped create or was involved in or became the hype man for it, that he's so interconnected with things that I love so much that it was like, man, I know those things aren't dying, but it feels like a part of them may have died when Stan Lee fell out.
I can see 9 of them surrounding you right now.
That's a fair point too. I mean, if you're watching the video version of the show, around me is a whole bunch of different swag from different Marvel properties, various different properties, but a lot of it is Marvel related that's around me. A lot of it is stuff that was influenced by Stan Lee. Like if you look over my right shoulder right now, it's a cover of Amazing Fantasy 15, which is one of my favorite comics of all time.
And what's further to your right?
On my damn microphone right now is a Spider-Man. There's a life-size Spider-Man standing next to me that Willie has an uncomfortable fixation on.
Why do I have that?
Because you're a perv.
Yep.
Because it's not anatomically correct.
Because you're a perv.
And let's talk money. The Box Office Mojo, it's weird because I check, because on his cameo listing, it doesn't have them all right now, which I don't know if like something got messed up or not. But if you look at just the current Marvel Cinematic Universe, just the 20 movies that they count in the MCU, $6.8 billion. That's basically all Stan's characters. And he was in, I believe, all but like 2 of those films. So just as an actor, the movies he's been in are some of the highest grossing movies of all time.
And supposedly he had filmed cameos in advance on some of these things. I don't know how far out in advance, but I don't think he'd done one for the new X-Men movie that's coming out. But I believe he'd done one for Infinity War. Supposedly he'd already done his Captain Marvel one, and there was talk that they had just pre-recorded a few other ones that are just sitting there to try and be spliced into things. So
how do they pre-record it, I wonder? Like they already have an idea what they might do?
Yeah, I mean,
easy scenes like Deadpool, the first one where he's the DJ in the booth. Like that scene, you don't see Ryan Reynolds in that scene. Like that scene could be spliced into any film. It's just Stan in a DJ booth introducing the next stripper.
Chastity.
And they had said that a lot of his cameos as of late was not him traveling to go on set for things. It was they would find a way to do it in LA so that he wasn't traveling, be it with green screen or something like that, and then put it together.
Well, I don't mean like that. Like, I mean, they already kind of have like an idea what kind of cameo they're going to make, like in movies in 3, 4, 5 years from now. That's
yeah.
That was the inference I've gotten on it, is that they had an idea of how they would want to do future Stan Lee cameos. And from the interviews I'd read, is like he was really into doing these cameos and enjoyed the fact he was doing them. Sailor Paul points in that chat room, Lee did say he wasn't on the set. He was disappointed he didn't get to see the strippers for Deadpool.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess, from the last count, I think they said he has like 5 to 7 of them in the can. So there's plenty of them still coming up. But yeah, just sadly, and whatever one we get in Avengers 4 will be the first one we see in a world that Stan Lee doesn't live in anymore, which will be kind of sad.
No, you mean Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Oh, Captain Marvel will be first, yeah. I keep forgetting that one's right before it.
And do you think they're going to start doing a Rogue One-ing him?
No.
No.
I highly doubt that.
I mean, it's Disney.
I don't think they have a need to do that at this point, because that was kind of a smile and nod to the fans in a way to keep Stan involved. I think if you just start putting in a CGI Stan after his death, it's one thing to do cameos you've already filmed before he passed away, but to be like, well, we're out of stuff we filmed, let's take some words he said, let's splice it into something and do a CGI one. That's not really respectful there. Remember, Disney got permission from the families when they did do those CGI folks in Rogue One for Carrie Fisher and...
Carrie Fisher was still alive.
Right. I'm sorry, I'm brain farting. It's the guy who played Grand Moff Tarkin.
I know. I couldn't think of it either. I was trying to, but that's why I just said Rogue One-ing.
But they did get permission from Carrie Fisher's family to continue using what they'd already shot for Last Jedi and for Episode 9. There's no CGI going into that. That's permission from the family.
Well, hold on a second. Did they need to get permission for that? Because she signed a contract when she was alive
they
to be in it.
They did not need to, I don't think. But I think they did the right thing, which was, hey, she did film a lot of this stuff already. It was important for her to be able to do it.
And also, her daughter's on the set and in those films. So if they do it without her permission, like that, you're going to have somebody there that's pissed off every day. So it makes more sense to ask the family.
Thank you, Sailor Poland. It was Peter Cushing who played the role of Grand Moff
Peter
Tarkin.
Cushing, there we go.
I could not remember for the life of me.
Yeah, and someone else. Yeah, you guys brought up. Yeah, the current stuff where he's talking about his fans and doing the cameos. Like from all the articles I've read and the comic book industry guys that have been able to go see him in the past couple of months leading up to when he passed, that he said like the cameos were his favorite thing ever because he always thought of himself as a movie star. Like this is a guy in his late 80s that would meet celebrities and tell them, "Yes, it's a pleasure for you to meet me." Like, this motherfucker glue. Like, he had an inner light that just outshined everybody. It's fucking amazing. And so, yeah, he was a movie star.
Yeah, of course. I mean, his best role ever was, of course, Mallrats.
Mallrats is pretty fucking
That's
good.
one of the clips that was trending when Stan Lee died. You could go on Twitter and see the trending topics. It was Mallrats was one of the things there because everyone was sharing the Mallrats clip of him talking to Brody.
Oh, look, a sailboat.
They look happy, don't they? What, the bras?
It's such a fun scene. I mean, and that's the kind of stuff that gave you an idea, at least of the public version of Stan Lee, that he was always the happy-go-lucky kind of guy. He enjoyed doing those things. There's various dark, sordid tales of here's things supposedly he did. I don't know anything about that. I mean, the Stan Lee that the fans knew is the Stan Lee that I'll remember.
Yeah, see, and I don't want to hear any of the negative shit lately because it's ridiculous. And honestly, like some of the stuff where maybe he got handsy with a nurse at like age 94 in a world where fucking Cosby just got arrested and put in jail for 60 years of rape. I don't want to hear that fucking some bullshit about how you don't like Stan Lee because he maybe got handsy once. Like, shut the fuck up. That shit's ridiculous.
Bush Sr. also got called out on that, but no one really cared.
They did for a little while, and then it passed.
Yeah, I don't give a damn. The motherfucker's dead. His legacy is in place. He's intact. And yeah, he didn't talk up his writers as much as he talked up himself, but he also didn't fucking talk shit about him. He just talked up himself. He was a hype man.
Love be a vulture tonight.
That's right. And then the Green Goblin showed up and pumpkin bombed the hell out of the place. But other than that, it looks the same. We never tackled that stuff back in the days with the comics code and all.
Yeah, they did. You know they did. They talked about it. Don't fucking joke me.
Oh, they talked about it. And I love it too. Yeah, somebody was talking online about how, he didn't create the first black character. There was another black character in comics. No one ever said he created the first black character. He created the first black superhero who was a fucking king of his own country that showed up in the most popular comic book of the time and kicked the shit out of a white family. Like, 2 Jewish guys did that shit in the 60s. It was amazing.
Suncast had mentioned in the chat room that it was really fun watching all the Stan Lee cameos, nearly 12 minutes long. If you were looking for that clip and hadn't seen it, I believe I dropped the right one in the chat room right now, which is all of his Marvel movie cameos, which is pretty cool to see.
Does it have the original Daredevil one? Pre-MCU?
I don't know. I did not. I can't actually watch the video now because the audio would go out to everyone who's viewing the live stream. And yeah,
it's in our chat room.
Do you know what my favorite Stan Lee thing ever was?
Stan Lee Stripperella, I'm guessing.
Actually, no. Who wants to be a superhero?
That was pretty cool, actually.
The first
like
season.
that show.
The second season, not that good. But the first season, oh my God, I love that first season. So good. Got Fat Mama on there. Was it Major? Captain Major or something? What the fuck is that guy's name? Who was previously a stripper?
I just remember Feedback. I remember the kid that won.
The one that won. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a weird guy.
Well, the whole show was weird, let's be fair.
Yeah.
And then he kind of got gypped when he wasn't really in his own movie like they were claiming. He was like a little side character or something in like another monster movie they made.
No, it was sci-fi or sci-fi.
Yeah. I think, was it sci-fi at the time?
I think it was still sci-fi at the time.
I believe it was. Now it's going to be Who Wants to Be in a Sharknado or something like that if they redo it.
Well, everyone wants to be, so that's not really a question.
And apparently with sci-fi for about $10 you can be. They're making a new one every 3 fucking days.
Oh. They're going to run out of titles, man.
No, they won't. No, they won't.
They'll just start calling them the next Sharknado.
Yeah.
Wasn't that what the sequel was called?
Probably.
The second one? Wasn't that the second one was called?
Willie, I've not seen any of the Sharknado movies, so you're really asking the wrong person here.
You think I have?
Past American Pie, I don't watch Tara Reid movies, so I'm not watching Sharknadoes.
American Pie 2 wasn't that bad. Wait, was she in that one?
I think she was only in the first one.
I thought she was in the first two. I thought they all
Or maybe
were,
the first
'cause they
two.
were contractually on that.
I have all of those movies, but yeah, that's when her movie career ended as far as I know.
And she didn't come back for American Wedding, which I thought was actually okay.
That was okay. I don't remember if she did or not, to be honest. It's been a few years since I've last seen it. Willie, why don't you pull it off your shelf when we're done here? And we will
why is it not on camera yet?
I mean, it's up there. It's on the top of the shelf because alphabetical. I mean,
Fair
come
enough.
on. And
Willie,
do you
you're
want me to
slacking.
stand up now?
I do
Nope.
not.
Nope.
What I was going to say, though, is since we never got Clueless Willie, let's do American Wedding Willie
God
at some point.
damn it! I forgot about Clueless. It's not that I'm ignoring it. I'm just forgetting to do it. That's the problem. I want to do it.
Hashtag Clueless Willie. Come on, y'all, chat room. Hit him up with it.
Yeah,
Hit him
do
on
it.
Twitter. Every
At
hour
South
on
Porky.
the hour. At South Porky.
At South Porky.
Hashtag
No
Clueless
underscore,
Willie.
no nothing. It's just South Porky.
Or we can just do hashtag A Willie, I guess. American Wedding Willie. Combine them together. I don't know. That doesn't work.
American Willie.
American Willie. There you go. That's the other thing. When he does American Wedding, it's going to be American Willie.
I mean, that's what the whole hashtag Me Too thing was called, right?
No.
I tried.
You reached a bit farther.
Yeah, but I believe you were giving me a segue, Chris.
Was I? Okay, sure. I have no idea what he's doing, everyone who's watching live.
I'm not sure I want to know what he's doing.
Segue to the next segment, Chris.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I don't want to know what he's doing.
I believe he wants me to transition to him, but there's really no
That's
great
something.
transition point.
I mean, that's why you got to be creative, Chris.
Well, since we've had a few moments to reflect on the memory of Stan Lee and gotten a bit sad, let's talk about something that's utterly delightful that did drop this week. Willie, what have you got for us?
God damn, you're like a fucking professional, Chris.
Yeah, he is. He's good at this shit.
Well, let's bring this up a little bit because there was a movie that was just that was announced, and I was like, I don't give a shit about this movie. I don't care about it. I'm not gonna see it.
Do you
But
give a
then the
shit now?
But then the trailer dropped, and I was like, oh, wait a second. I like the styling of how they're doing this. I'm curious now. I want to see this. And that movie is Detective Pikachu. I mean, did you not see how fluffy Pikachu looks?
I
You can
did
talk
see
now.
how fluffy Pikachu looked and various other Pokemon in there. And
Well, I mean, all
Mr. Mime
Pokemon
is
were
creepy as shit.
Oh, I saw something creepier. Someone took away his face and put Nick Cage's face on it.
They all
God.
look creepy as shit. I can't watch that movie.
Nick Cage is Mr. Mime. I'd watch it.
That whole movie looks fucking disturbing.
Really? I think
think
it
it
looks
looked-
delightful.
I don't know what it is. They look like they didn't go cartoony enough or real enough. Like they stopped in the middle to where they look like they're stuffed animals, but then their eyes are alive. It
I'm
looks
okay with-
fucking creepy.
You know, you're not the only one to have said that, though. Like, half the people on Twitter seem to be talking about how creepy it was, and the rest of the people are like, this looks like delightful fun. I'm totally in.
Oh yeah, and I mean, and I know I'm not the target audience for it. They weren't aiming for me. I'm not that big of a Pokemon fan, so I mean, yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just, to me, visually, it looks really creepy. It also looked cute. The trailer looked very cute. The story looks cute, but the actual creatures themselves look really creepy, just the way they made them.
This is like a hint of darkness in there. In fact, you know what it actually reminds me of? A much less vulgar and raunchy version of the movie that came out earlier this year. That's coming out December 4th on Blu-ray and DVD, which I'm going to be getting. Happy Time Murders.
I never got around to seeing that because I ran out of Movie Pass at that point in time.
I say it's worth it. It's worth a watch. I'm going to be buying it.
And while I think Ryan Reynolds is really good as the voice of Pikachu, I still want Danny DeVito to have been Detective Pikachu. Can you?
Oh my god!
Can you imagine?
Yeah, Detective Green Lantern just isn't working for me.
No, but Danny DeVito. Oh my god!
DeVito would have been great.
Actually, you know what? Last week when I was staying in that motel, you know what I was watching? The Lorax, and Danny DeVito was excellent in it.
It's because Danny DeVito is the man.
You also got to figure he'd be a lot cheaper right now than Ryan Reynolds.
And also a little side tangent. Did you guys see that there was that school like behind like a towel dispenser? There was like you could pull it away, and there's like a little shrine to Danny DeVito inside the wall. Did you guys see anything about that?
In the Lorax, I've never seen it.
No. It was actually in a high school.
I saw something on Twitter about it, but it was on Twitter, so I didn't necessarily believe it. That was my
problem. It was real. It was all on Reddit and everything, but sadly, they closed it up.
That's weird.
Yeah, someone had a little shrine to Danny DeVito. It was hilarious. They just opened it up. There's like a bunch of stuff. It's like, okay. I'm glad this existed.
I think this is going to be one of those movies that kids are going to want to see more so than adults, but that there's an adult edge to it, for lack of a better term. I don't know. What's it rated? Did anyone pay attention at the end of the trailer to see what the rating of the movie was?
No, but I know Willie's going to attack Sailor Poland now, so let's sit back and watch.
I don't give a fuck about the original story. The story they gave me was good. But
wait, did you just throw shade on Dr. Seuss? What the fuck is wrong with you, Willie? I don't give a fuck about the original story. It's Dr. Seuss, motherfucker.
How is that throwing shade on Dr. Seuss? I'm not saying one bad thing about it. I'm just saying I don't care what the original story is. That movie was actually delightful. It's all I said.
Oh, that's awful.
But let's get back on the point here. I believe the movie, it can't go any further than PG. PG has to be the harshest it has, but it's probably going to be G.
Yeah, Sailor Poland said they haven't put a rating out for it yet. My assumption was PG would be the highest it would go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to put PG-13. Although when that car explosion happened, I was like, oh, we're getting darker here.
I can't wait to see what they do in Pokemon Go when this comes out, because I'm sure there'll be Pikachus you can catch with detective hats on.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely do an event.
And you know what else I also don't fucking care about? This Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee. Fuck that shit.
Have you played it yet?
I don't want to. Because they put too much fucking Pokemon Go into it. You can't fight. You can't fight random random Pokemon, wild Pokemon.
You do know what the intent of this game is. It's basically to be something to hold people over until the real one comes out in 2019.
Hurry the fuck up with that shit. That's when you'll get me.
Do you know how much money they're going to make off of this? Like a crap load, probably. And then they've got Smash Brothers coming out in less than a month.
I mean,
think of all the money Nintendo's making this holiday season.
I give you this. I actually looked up stuff because I was like, do I want to get this Let's Go shit? Do I want to get this? And I looked up gameplay for it, and I was like, no, not at all. So apparently you catch Pokemon, and that's what levels up your other Pokemon. It makes no fucking sense.
They made it more like Pokemon Go, yes, and you can also link it to Pokemon Go. And
I know, I
Pokemon
saw that
between them, which is actually pretty cool.
Oh, fuck you, Chris.
Willie, just because I think something's cool that you don't is not a reason to tell me to F off, basically.
Hey, Willie, tell us how you really feel.
We are allowed to disagree.
I mean, fine. Enjoy it if you enjoy it. It just does not. If you have agreed with my likes and dislikes in the past, you probably feel the same way as I do now. Probably. Not a guarantee. This is just my own opinion. I'm not forcing it down anyone's throat, like, the Catholic Church. I actually was just talking about religion down the throats, not. Yeah.
Sure you were.
But yeah, Detective Pikachu, I'm excited. I don't care what the rating is. I do want to see it, but I hope they do come out. I hope they do what they did with the Logan with it and come out with Detective Pikachu
Noir. I've also enjoyed the fact that Ryan Reynolds seems to be having fun with it on Twitter and things like that, including sharing some of the fan art of Pikapool, as it was called.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we're gonna get a whole lot of Pikachu Deadpool crossover now.
There's already been. It's too late. That I don't agree with.
No, I would say it's gonna ramp up like crazy.
Oh,
It's all
harmless. People are having fun. Let's not be so negative. Does it really harm anything in the grand scheme of things?
Oh,
no.
I'm not being negative. I'm just saying we're gonna see a bunch.
Is it a
Actually,
little
I
dumb?
hope I do
Maybe.
see it, so I know who to avoid, because it's the same type of group that does this that probably romanticizes Harley Quinn and Joker's relationship, which is horrible. You people are fucking horrible. They still do this shit. What is wrong with you people? They get tattoos of it and everything. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you girls? You want to be beat or something? Why do you want to be beat? Why?
They want to be in an abusive relationship, even though they hate pudding.
Doesn't fucking make sense.
Yeah, I don't get the romanticizing of Joker and Harley Quinn. It's
This is the same
dysfunctional
type
at
of
best.
people. Well, maybe not the same type of people. But the Venn diagram there's a lot of midsection there.
There's some crossover.
That's a badass midsection. Oh
Willie,
my God.
Willie, go back to your
Jiggles.
Bowsette stash, is what the chat room says right now.
I'm sorry. I'm not about the Bowsette. I'm more about the Boozette. Boo. Those boobies. And for a second there, when you said stash, I thought you'd be like mustache. I was like, I didn't understand for a second, but I do now.
Okay, Sailor Paul, you're 100% correct. If you want a romantic relationship with Madness, Gomez and Morticia are the gold standard.
You goddamn right. You know what, Sailor
Hell
Paul?
yeah.
I'm sorry for whatever I said. I know we had a disagreement with the Lorax. That's in the past. You're now a fucking mastermind with this bullshit right now. I love you, Sailor Paul, and you are right.
There you go. I like that one too. In a world of Jokers and Harleys, be a Wade and Vanessa.
Yes.
Find someone whose crazy matches your crazy.
Because as much
That's
as
fair.
crazy as they were, they worked together and they didn't just beat the shit out
Yep.
of each other or anything like that, or abuse
Yeah.
each other.
Gomez and Morticia were perfect though. Like that's how to be a psychopath together. Like those two were great.
I would say like the Wade and Vanessa thing that just kind of weirded me out, so I can't get fully behind it. I can appreciate it. I can't get behind it, but the Gomez and Morticia, mwah.
See, I like the Wade and Vanessa. Still trying
When
to find
the
someone
dead
whose
moon
crazy
hits
matches
your
my crazy.
eyes.
Yeah, so Detective Pikachu, it sounds like we're all going to go see it except Bachman.
Yep.
And Bachman's wrong on this. Just like how I forgot to mention this last week, how he was just wrong about it, because I listened to the audiobook. There is no mention of him being a friendly-looking clown. All the kids are just off-putted by him. Even
Oh
ones
my
that just see
fucking
him.
god!
You're just wrong on this. Continue on. Let's go on. Hey, Chris, you had some awesome news of the week, didn't you? What was all that about?
That's
Willie
the best
referencing an audio
transition.
book because he can't read.
That's
Fuck
the
you,
best-
Willie.
I can't read while on the road, like literally while I'm driving. So I listen to it. It's 44 hours long, man.
Thank you for the great transition over to me, Willie, that you guys then overran.
Damn
But,
right I did.
just like the Sega thing. Segway.
Thank you. So, okay, one of the things that's been talked about, and there's been a lot of fanboy consternation over, which has entertained me, is the timeline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And did Marvel screw it up with Spider-Man Homecoming when
Yes.
they referenced 8 years ago was the
Yes.
events of the Avengers? Well, Kevin Feige never really fully walked it back, but did say there would be a timeline coming out later that would hopefully clear up some confusion. So there is a book that is being released by Marvel Studios that's all about the MCU honors the 10-year anniversary, and inside has a timeline actually for the movies in the MCU. The book is called Marvel Studios The First 10 Years, and it breaks down where things sit in time. And because these are the little things that I love to argue about with people or to come up with conspiracy theories on, this was incredibly interesting news for me just to kind of break down and see where in our timeline these movies took place. So
All right, just quick question before you get into it: is this as complicated as the Legend of Zelda timeline, where there's
No.
3 different timelines?
nothing is as complicated as the Zelda timeline and the various branches off of it.
Thank you.
Wait, have you met the Summers family?
Oh god.
Buffy Summers?
No,
Ooh.
Scott Summers. There's things way more complicated than the Zelda timeline, and it's called X-Men Family Trees.
I'm sorry, you lost me when it wasn't Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Willow. Bring it back to American Pie.
All right, so let's talk the timeline and how they've established it. So obviously, 1943 to 1945, Captain America: The First Avenger. That makes total sense. You're in World War II. There's no way it could be any other time period but that. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, the chronology, you can't start, nothing happened before Cap. Like, Cap has to be first.
Right. So while the movie came out in 2008, Iron Man is in fact set in 2010. So now here's where you can get your snarky MySpace comments in, where he makes a MySpace reference, and in 2010 it was basically almost dead. So
Well, you
get your
also
comments
skip
in.
you skip the 80s. Peter Quill getting abducted. Jesus
So I don't
Christ.
think they're dealing with the flashback perierds in those
No.
movies. They're
They're
just
talking
talking
about
about where
when
they're
the
primarily
main-
set.
Yeah,
That's
they're talking
fair.
when the main storyline of the movie takes place.
That's fair. That's more than fair.
So 2010 is Iron Man, and I'm surprised there's been no MySpace joke. I tried to set it up for you guys. No ripping on MySpace?
What's the point?
Yeah, fair enough.
No reason to kick a dead horse.
2011, Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, and Thor. Those all tend to make sense based off of the viewing order and how we viewed these things.
And then they kind of happen at the same time.
Most of them happened at about the same time. In fact, the post-credits scene in Incredible Hulk is post-Iron Man 2, was my understanding.
Yep.
Oh, really? I thought it was before because Stark they pretty much said they didn't want him for work for Shield at all. So it had been before because he did it for Shield to pretty much.
Incredible Hulk had to go first because there's Incredible Hulk footage that Tony sees in Iron Man 2.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying the
I
final
believe.
the credit scene. Like I said, it would have to be after then, if he saw footage of it then.
But yeah, they all happen around the same time in the same year.
Because he did that as a favor and just telling Thunderbolt to back the fuck off pretty much.
Pretty much. So Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, Thor was 2011. 2012, you have the Avengers and Iron Man 3. And timeline-wise, that makes sense because Tony's dealing with the fallout of Avengers in Iron Man 3.
Yep.
2013, Willie's favorite movie, Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, just skip over. No one fucking cares. Terrible. Worst fucking Marvel movie ever.
So 2014, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians Volume 1 and Volume 2. Those are the timelines they've established. Which makes sense having Baby Groot after he's Seedling Groot at the end of Guardians 1.
What? That's controversial.
Is it?
No, it's not.
I was going to say, I don't know how it is. 2015, Age of Ultron and Ant-Man. Again, that makes sense timeline-wise. Though I would think that Ant-Man might have come... No, it has to come after that because the Avengers compound had been made.
Yep.
And then Falcon's over there.
Yep.
Kind of.
Yep.
Because they tried to rob it thinking it was an old Stark building and found out that it's actually the Avengers headquarters. 2016, Captain America: Civil War and Spider-Man: Homecoming. That makes sense.
And no, because that is oops.
This is how they've retconned it.
No, because isn't it supposed to be 8 years later? So if Avengers was 2012, 8 years later, 2016 is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I think
That
they're
doesn't work.
I think they're shifting the 8 years to be more of Infinity War versus Iron Man, or I can't remember. I don't know. This is just the new official timeline, and it's intriguing to me. 2016 through to 2017 is Doctor Strange, so the movie spans a year.
Well, he took a lot of training.
Yes.
That's all it took was a year?
Well, he's a genius.
Well, he is a super genius as
It has
well,
an eidetic memory, I believe.
and can read in astral projection form while sleeping. That has to be the best study technique I've ever fucking seen.
I was just going to say, I was going to give it at the very least a year and a half. I'm just saying.
Well, it could be a year and a half. It spans 2016 to 2017. That's
You
up
know
to 24 months.
That's fair. That's more than fair. I could be wrong.
And then finally, for 2017, Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, and Avengers Infinity War. Part 1, or whatever they call Part 2, I would assume. There's rumors on that. Supposedly it takes place in the future and then fixes a bunch of things. Who knows? That's really going to screw with this timeline, I'm sure.
Can we just
Oh, yeah.
rename Ragnarok to Thor
The best one.
pre-Infinity?
No.
Because it's right before. It's the thing that happens right before it.
It's
It's
Thor 3,
literally-
the best Thor.
It's
Oh, yeah, I'll
literally
give you- oh,
the
definitely.
destruction of Asgard and the Asgardians. It is, by definition, Ragnarok.
It goes 3, 1, 2 with Thor, and then 2's on the bottom of everything. Fuck those elves.
Did you say fuck those elves?
Yeah,
Yes, he did.
The Dark
not a
Elves
fan-
were in Thor 2, not Thor 3. Come on.
I know. That's
That-
what I'm saying. Fuck those
that's
elves.
what
I'm
he's
saying
saying,
2's the
fuck those
worst.
elves.
3, 1, 2 is how the order of Thors go.
Okay, I also
Yeah,
like
no,
to say,
Sailor
like,
Poland's right. If you're gonna rename it, it's the He-Man movie you never got when you were a kid.
That's what I said when that trailer came out. It's the best He-Man we never got. That was my exact wording.
it was
God, I
delightful.
want to see a Taika Waititi fucking He-Man movie.
And you could have Chris Hemsworth as Prince Adam easily enough.
Oh hell yes, hell yes.
No, not in this day and age. We're getting the Rock, motherfucker.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be a little bit too busy.
We're getting the Rock, and whoever played the kid in Jumanji, he's gonna be Prince Adam, and then all of a sudden the Rock's gonna be He-Man. That'd be the best.
The Rock be Beast Man. I want to see him as the comedy foil to Skeletor. How fucking fantastic would that be?
The
The
real
Rock
question is, who would be Skeletor?
mane and a giant mane of orange hair.
Well, you know who we're never gonna get into a skull mask again.
Hugo Weaving?
Yeah,
Well, he would be good.
no, but he's never gonna fucking do that shit.
Probably not. Yeah, there's a lot of good actors. I mean, hell, they got Frank Langella last time. Like, they ain't fucking high for Skeletor last time.
Keep going. I want to think about this for a bit. I'm gonna have a rumble around. I'm gonna have someone in here in a bit.
Well, see, the problem is I'm out of stuff on this story. We've done the timeline. This obviously doesn't put Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in place as to where that fits in its various seasons, but
Oh, and side tangent once again, because Willie being the king of tangents. I saw this little side news story. Apparently, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got renewed for another season.
that is
Am
correct.
I the only one who's a little surprised about this? Because I keep
Everyone's
hearing,
surprised.
I keep hearing all the time like cancellations probably coming.
So it's an interesting story. It kind of ties into some stuff that came out of the Netflix stuff. Is that if you had missed it, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. before it's even aired, its season 6 got renewed for season 7. And
Yep.
everyone's kind of scratching their heads. And let's step back. Let's look at the Netflix Marvel shows. There's been some studies that people have been trying to do based off of social media traffic and buzz around each season, saying part of the reason it looks like Iron Fist and Luke Cage got canceled is there's about a 50% dip in excitement between seasons and what you saw on social media. People weren't tweeting about it, weren't really talking about it as much. And there's theories that might also be a problem that's going to impact Daredevil, because they said it was like a 33% drop from season 2 to season 3 based off of how much it was talked about on social media. They then went and compared that to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and said it's kind of a runaway here. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets a lot more buzz on social media. I don't think that's exactly a fair comparison, however, because a Netflix show comes out, you can watch it all in one day, a week, 2 weeks, whatever. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., however, comes out on a weekly schedule, which is designed to build hype up to the episode each week, where they kind of tease out excitement in social media. So I'm not sure it's exactly a fair comparison here. That being said, it's arguably the most successful of the Marvel television shows. So the renewal is interesting. I kind of like the fact that we're not getting the next season of it until after they solve the Infinity War issue, because that would have been a bitch to try and write around. So we're not getting season 6 until they do that, and then that opens up completely different paths for season 7, things like that. What'll be really interesting to see is whether they find some way to bring Coulson back, because if you watch season 5,
What? I haven't.
Coulson, his fate is in doubt.
Okay.
Yes, his fate is in doubt. They did
Okay,
not
you
kill
s-
him. They left his fate in doubt.
I mean, I still want to watch it. I just haven't.
Well,
So
Willie, you can
you
watch it on
spooked me.
Netflix. I believe,
I know.
and I believe you have an unlimited data plan on your phone, so you should get to work on that.
Yeah, I know, but you spooked me there for a second with that spoiler. It's like, whoa, but you said it's in doubt. That's okay.
Willie, it's kind of hard to spoil a show that aired its season finale like 9 months ago.
You know what? You could suck a dick, Chris.
I'm just saying. I'm glad I did not spoil anything for you, but you need to be wary of the fact it's been 9 months since the finale aired or something like that. So you're kind of out of that courtesy period where people refrain from talking about spoilers.
Yeah. If you don't know that fucking Quake threw down with Nathan Petrelli at this point, that's your fault.
I don't know who Nathan Petrelli is, so
that's also your fault.
Wait. We go back to Heroes?
He's going back to Heroes.
He's on that show?
He's been on that show.
Dude, he's been on that show. It's fucking General Talbot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wait. When
with
you
his
say
sexy
throw,
mustache.
when you say throw down.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
They
yeah.
brawl.
They brawl for it all.
Oh, okay.
No. Quake does not have sex with General Talbot. Jesus.
Okay. that was serious. That was serious.
Willie heard a very different throwdown than what I was implying.
I mean,
Combat, sir. Combat.
I'm somebody. Whew, God, I was a little spooked there for a second.
Yeah, no, the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was really good. And yeah, I mean, I can see where the hype comes from. We're building up every week. I mean, literally, we have a show on the network where they live tweet every episode as it's happening. So,
and I also want to say, I'm not like saying like, geez, how could this show get renewed? I'm just surprised because I keep hearing all the things like it's probably not going to get picked up for another season. Like, rating dipping. Like, that's all I keep hearing. That's why I'm just surprised.
If you were on Twitter after the announcement happened, even folks that run like the websites like Entertainment Weekly, TV Line, and things like that were like, this is a surprise move. Nobody expected the show that's been so troubled that it's only going to air its next season during the summer to get renewed for season 7 already. So either it's really good or they've realized that this is just a good Marvel property to keep on there that keeps helping to grow the brand. I don't know. Maybe they're going to lead it and tying somehow into the Disney Plus television shows or something like that. I don't know.
That's the thing I said. Is Disney owns it. They own ABC, so they own the network it's on. If this show loses money every year, but it builds catalog for them to put on the Disney streaming service, they're looking at it where they're getting to bite at the apple twice because they get to make ads. Even if the ads don't make as much on ABC, they're still getting ad revenue. And then it's just adding to that catalog that's going to the streaming service. And with the shows falling off Netflix, if they do want to actually use this show to introduce characters the way we kind of thought it was going to, there's more chance that they could do that now going forward. Fucking Heroes for Hire could show up in the next season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We don't know.
Well, supposedly ABC wanted to cancel like 2 seasons ago, and we're told by Disney, no, you can't cancel this.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Disney owns it and owns them. So, like, this show could take a loss every episode, and Disney could say, no, you're going to keep fucking running it because we own you and we want the show on the air. Disney could literally just hand them a check and say, here's the difference in money you're losing in ads. Like, shut up, play the show. Like, Disney's in charge. Bob Iger maybe Bob Iger, this is his favorite show. Maybe that's all it is. And there's just not a goddamn thing that anybody else at ABC can do about it because Bob Iger loves Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he loves Coulson. And so we're just going to get 15 fucking seasons of Agent Coulson.
I can just see it now. ABC and say, please, no more. And you just get, no one told you to stop sucking.
I also like Sailor Poland's earlier theory there as to why it got renewed, because someone has pictures from the last Office Christmas party.
That's always a possibility.
Well, Sailor Poland does bring up a good point, though. We talked about potential for the streaming service. The question was, but will people still watch it on a streaming service? I mean, what numbers does it pull on streaming now? I think it's only available like last 5 on Hulu. That's how they've been doing it. And then eventually the whole back catalog goes to Netflix. And I doubt you'll know those numbers. Netflix never shares those numbers, neither does Hulu. But the streaming model evidently works because let's look at the CW superhero shows. They're not a direct comparison because there's thematic differences, things like that. But the CW has their own app that as long as you watch ads, you can watch episodes for free on. And shows that did fairly poor live ratings-wise and even +7 DVR ratings numbers like Arrow and Legends Tomorrow, they got renewed for this season. So evidently that streaming model that the CW has adopted has worked, but the trade-off there is it's a free app versus going to be a paid app for
I think
Disney Plus.
The add-on you'll see is that people that like have taken their kids to see all the Marvel films that maybe wouldn't let those kids sit and watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. every night on TV, those same parents, once their kids force them to buy the Disney streaming service, to rewatch all the Marvel films and all the Disney properties once they have the streaming service. They might then watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it is somewhat in the same universe, and it's a whole lot of content that they can fucking put on TV and just burn through.
So Sailor Pawn brings up if the numbers on streaming are great, no one would be surprised it got renewed. A fair point, I would say, but to be honest, I don't know that Disney even cares about ratings numbers like we were saying in here. I think that us talking ratings on this is potentially just confusing the fact that Disney's like, hey, it's a Marvel property. We've invested X amount of dollars into it. We've got movies coming out all the time. This is just a great promotional tool for us at the very least to be able to do it. So they don't care as much about any potential monetary losses. I think I might have sent us down a wrong path by talking ratings numbers because we're trying to think of it rationally, whereas I think the decision to renew it might not be based off of money or numbers. It could just be we need to keep these Marvel properties on.
Well, plus it's every one of those actors goes to the majority of all the national conventions and a lot of the international conventions. So you get the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. crew going as groups to conventions talking about Marvel and Marvel properties. So it's, it's keeping Marvel highlighted at cons. So, people that are there that may not have heard about the show, like they're getting the word out.
So reading the chat room, Sailor Poland says, so it's the James Gunn situation again. No one wants to admit they made a mistake with the show, so this is to preserve ego. I don't think it's that. I think in this case, it's, hey, whether this makes us money or not, we can use it as a promotional tool for all the movies. It's a nice tie-in. It has a marketing blitz that never ends versus screwing up and firing James Gunn. I don't think is the same kind of mistake of let's keep doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because while it may not pull down huge numbers, those that do watch it are really happy with it. There's a lot of social media buzz, and it's a small but dedicated fan base. And I hate to make this comparison, but let's make it. It's like a Firefly type of fan base where the numbers may not be that great, but you have a rabid fan base. It's like, I love this show. I want to talk about it all the time. I want to be an evangelist for it, and I'm always buzzing about it. I think that might be the situation we're in here.
Plus, it's a show that has a diverse cast that has 2 female leads that kick ass, that are female Asian leads that kick ass, which it's not happening on many shows on many different networks. You got fucking Mac, you got Quake, and you got fucking Agent May fucking representing and kicking the shit out of everybody they meet. Like, they're fucking fantastic.
Yeah, so I think this is something we can make theories on for a while here, and I don't think that they're all wrong. I think there might be some piece of a lot of these theories that combines into the full reason why Disney is doing it that we'll never quite realize, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I still haven't watched all of this season myself. I've read all the story recaps, but I just haven't watched all the episodes yet, just know what was going on. I'm optimistic to see where it goes. And I know there was some talk about it, and if you want to make more conspiracy theories, we're always happy to do them on here, but I would point out there is a Gonna Geek Discord server on the Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. channel. There's been a lot of talk right now about the renewal of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'm pretty sure there's some conspiracy theories going on there as to why this might have happened. So
all I know is there's more Quake. I'm happy.
That's fair. As long as she just doesn't date that Paul kid anymore.
Isn't she still dating him?
I think that stopped a long time ago. I
thought. I don't know this stuff.
Well, it stopped before the last time we talked about it.
Because they did the redo of what was that Nick Cage movie that they redid together that apparently still hasn't even had an advertisement yet.
What?
They redid.
Con Air?
No, it's a real
Raising Arizona.
No, it's one where
Vampire's Kiss.
Teenager. Fuck, what was it called?
Who, Nick Cage was a teenager?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a really, really early one. They redid it, and apparently that's where they met. That's where she met the big, dumb human Labrador moron.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's skip past it. No one needs to know about any of this shit.
Yeah, we're close enough. But we're at that point of the show right now where we like to remind folks that the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast is, in fact, part of a network of shows that you can find over at GonnaGeek.com. We've got 25 plus different shows in the network that cover a variety of topics. Some are focused on a specific television show. We talked about Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., which recaps and discusses Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and its various tie-ins. There's other stuff that's just as simple as, hey, let's talk about Arrow in the greater CW superhero universe. We've got board game shows, video game shows, general geek culture. There's a lot of stuff there. And as much as I would love to tell you about every show that's on the network, I can't do that because we'd have to dedicate a whole show to just reading promo reads. But what I can say is each week we'll give you a taste of one show and say, hey, maybe you should go check out this show. And Willie, what show are we talking about this week?
This week, we're talking about the Daddy-O podcast. Episode 27.
Dad.io.
Well, I asked you that. You never fucking answered me.
When did you ask me that?
You looked at the Hangouts.
Willie, it's pronounced Valley Girl.
Thank you.
Just so you know.
But that's not what we're talking about. Right now, we're talking about the Dad.io podcast that I hope you see our ass in now.
Thank you.
Episode 27. Back in Black Friday. Stock up on stuffing and turkey, and then head to the battlefields. Or on your computer. Whichever you prefer, and get ready to snag some sweet, sweet new deals on smart home tech this year. Andrew and Ryan tackle the biggest and best details and tell you where to go and what to look for. This year is shaping up to be the very best opportunity to dive headfirst into home automation. Chris, before I say back to you, you see where I asked it.
No, I don't see where you asked it. It is nowhere in my chat history.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I'm not-
Back to you, Chris.
Willie, I'm not going to screen share what we have here. Oh, now I see it. Oops.
Oh, now you see it.
So what we happened here is when you took my secondary news of the week to make your own, you said, I can write it in. We'll figure it out later. I said, already done, and didn't notice the follow-up stuff that went at the same time where you said, is it Daddy-O or Dad.io? So, yes, I fucked it up. I apologize, Willie. I apologize.
And I kind of like Daddy-O a lot. I like the pronunciation of that.
Can we call
Either
you-
way. And I didn't take your news.
But that's the
Bachman,
show.
we talked about this last night, Bachman, did we not? I was like, oh, I'm probably going to be talking about this.
Yeah, you
we
said
were
you were going
playing-
to talk about it, but you didn't say, hey, I took it as my news of the week and I let Chris know.
Well, I mean, I followed it after you said what you were going to use for your news of the week. I was like, oh, I'm probably going to use this. So I thought it was inferred.
So the lesson learned here is that I should have known better, known what Willie was going to do, despite the fact it was claimed nowhere.
Yeah, see, and I did the smart thing this week. I remembered I did not infer. When we heard about Stan, I said, well, this will be my news of the week. And I put it directly in the chat so that Chris could see it. And it wasn't me going, hey, Chris, can I steal your news of the week this time?
All right. Now, hold on a second.
Infer that, bitch.
You're trying to say a Willie ain't got no spots here. Well, that just ain't true. That's like saying Willie uses condoms. This just don't work out like that. Life is just the way it is, man.
Why
don't
did we have to go back to that?
Because my giggling, motherfucker. That's why.
Oh.
Oh, and all of a sudden he got Sam Jackson on it.
Just saying motherfucker means I'm Sam Jackson. That's all it takes.
If you say it with some attitude like that, yeah. The L stands for motherfucker.
I don't think there's an L in motherfucker at all, but
No, Samuel L. Jackson. The L stands for motherfucker.
I know, I heard you. It still ain't changing the way I just said. But after all that's said and done, back to you, Chris.
Well, thank you, Willie, for throwing it back to me. I think twice now. I'm pretty sure you'd already thrown it back to me, but I can't
he
remember.
said before I throw it back to you, and then he started that whole fucking thing.
Okay.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I did say back to you after that, and that was the second time.
Oh,
I
did
will
you?
back him
Okay.
up on that. But Chris, I'll throw it back to you all night long. Show babies are coming, Chris. You and me, baby. I seen Junior. This can work.
Why don't you
I'm
pull
gonna-
it off your DVD shelf right now?
I'll be Danny DeVito, and you be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
All right, I'm just going to ignore that and we're going to continue on with things. Looking at the time, it is time for us to start wrapping up the show. Before we wrap it up, we do like to do a little segment called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and nerdy things we've been getting into so that maybe, just maybe, you'll want to go check them out yourselves. So I will kick things off because why not? What have I been getting into? I've been playing some Fallout 76. Not as much as some other friends of mine have, but I enjoy the game. I think it's more fun to play with multiple people because then you don't get just destroyed as easily. But still, fun game. I like it. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is sitting on the shelf upstairs. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I'm hoping I'll have a chance at some point.
You get Pikachu, not Eevee?
Yes.
I guess that's fair since you can't technically
You can't evolve
either
your
one.
starter, so you
Yeah,
might
I
as well
know.
get the lightning one versus a normal.
Well, but from what I hear, I know you haven't played it, but from what I hear, you can also give them like cross moves that are elemental too. So
there is.
but you don't get the bonus though. So I guess the Pikachu does is better.
Yeah, I think that's slightly better. But I don't know. I've also been playing God of War 4, the most recent one that's just called God of War.
I mean,
do
got a
enjoy it.
boy.
God of Boy, yes. I've been having a bunch of fun with it. I think I talked about it last week. It just really entertains me that Christopher Judge is in there.
Oh yeah, I thought we mentioned that when I was.
I'm pretty sure I talked about it last week. What else have I been?
No, I mean back when I was originally playing it.
Perhaps.
I thought we mentioned it.
Perhaps
I don't
so.
remember.
Been getting prepared for Super Smash Bros. That's a few weeks out, but I cannot wait to play that.
Are we gonna be playing that together?
We can. I have to get the Nintendo Network to do so, but I can do that. Anyone want to chip in on a family plan? We can all be a family.
We can do that. How much?
A family plan's $40. You can put 5 accounts under it. Versus paying $20 for one.
If it's just two of us, it just makes it $20.
Yeah, I know. So we should see if there's anyone else that wants to be on our Nintendo Switch family plan.
Oh yeah, no.
You don't want to be part of our family, Bachman.
I don't have a Switch. You buy me a Switch, I'll pay the $40.
Look, I went and bought a PlayStation 4, and Willie went and bought a Switch. I think it's time that you buy one to join us too.
I need a new car and a washing machine. So
Chris
a
Bachman
Switch is
is
very
our-
low on the list.
Chris Bachman is in our family. You're the father. I'm the mother. He's a kid.
You just want this show baby thing to come true so bad.
Long as
Don't
I'm
you?
not
It
the
will
old-
happen, man.
It's so creepy.
What, my voice now?
So what else have I been getting into? For some reason, I'm rewatching Community on Hulu when I'm cooking in the kitchen and stuff like that. So I'm through season 3 of Community now. I still love that show. It's delightful. Willie, what are you about to say?
I like the way you put that. For some reason, I'm watching this.
I don't understand why I go back and rewatch. I love Community. It's a great show. But for some reason, I just randomly go and start things back up. And I'm like, why the hell did I do this? I've got so much new crap I need to watch, but I'm rewatching stuff that I like. It's weird.
At the end of October for Halloween to get the vibes in, I rewatched American Wolf in London, Trick or Treat, and all 7 Saw films. Sometimes you just have to go back to the stuff you like.
Yeah. I stopped.
I watch
at Saw
Cabin in the
3.
Woods like once in a month. Like, I just some
Stopped
stuff you
at
like, you
Saw
go back to
3.
it.
That was so terrible. Such a terrible shit movie.
I love them all.
What else?
Wait, how did we get on this?
We started talking about the fact that I'm watching Community again.
Chris is rewatching a show he loves.
Yeah.
I've rewatched The League 7
For
times.
some reason. For some reason, you love it.
Yeah, that I don't understand. I can't think of anything else I've been getting into right now, so I guess I will pass the baton to one Anthony Bachman.
All right, let's see. What have I been doing? I've been reading comics. I finally read the first trade of the new Flash that's been going for like 2 years now. Because I was getting the title and then dropped it. And now that I've dropped all DC books, I'm going back and just picked up the digital copies of some of them that I want to know what's going on in the storyline. Which that was pretty cool because that was an introduction of the Godspeed supervillain, which is a supervillain that would kill people by stealing Speed Force from them. And it's just a really cool design. All white suit with gold lightning bolts. Really fucking cool looking villain. Did that. I finally was, I got a hold of the first season's winner for the commissions, for color commissions for the Fantasy Comic League. So that has been sent out. So once that arrives and that person receives it, I'll finally be able to share the first 2 commissions I did, which would be nice because, yeah, I've been sitting on those photos for a while, and I said I wouldn't put them on Instagram until I delivered them. And then one of the winners took like a 4-month hiatus from social media. So I had the finished artwork sitting here in a folder waiting to mail it out, and I finally mailed it out Friday. But yeah, that's done. I watched the first 3 episodes of the new She-Ra show on Netflix just because I wanted to check it out. I'm definitely not the target fucking audience for that show, but it's really cute. Like, I see what they did. I'm not a huge fan of the animation style, but it's that whole Steven Universe look. Like, that's just, I don't know. It seems weird to me. But it's DreamWorks, same people that did Voltron. It's really well made. I like the way they did all the setup of the Hordak army and the Horde. It seems like it'll be a really cool show. I'll probably finish at least the first season. It was fun. I got back on watching my Supernatural. I finally finished season 7, and I'm starting season 8. You know, talk about a show that's running forever. That motherfucker, they're like doing their 15th season right now.
I was about to ask how many seasons they got.
I think they're doing. I think 15 is the one happening right now because I think there's 14 seasons on Netflix. Yeah, and talk about a show that won't die, and literally the main characters have like died and gone to hell or purgatory and been resurrected. I think 3 times each now, at least twice. Like it's fucking fantastic, and a show that keeps upping the ante. Like they've already beat the devil once already. Like it's fucking insane. Like it's such a fun show. But yeah,
It's going to end with them fighting God.
I think at this point he's been introduced, but yeah, at some point, yeah, they need to hold him accountable. But then it just becomes Preacher. But I don't know. But yeah, I love it. That show's fucking. It's just enjoyable as hell. And then I've been playing a fair amount of Overwatch and Dead by Daylight. Fucking trying to sneak my way up into the silver ranks in Overwatch finally because fucking did my comp matches again. No, I'm close. I'm got back up to. I'm just shy of 1400. But yeah, I did my comp matches again and ended up in like mid 1300s. I'm always like right at the top of bronze, like just so close.
Oh
yeah,
man, so far down there from gold.
Yep. But replaying with the updates, it's been fun. I'm liking the new soldier, where you can shoot a couple more shots before your spray goes crazy, and then yeah, going nuts on Dead by Daylight, playing the hell out of the killers and the survivors. I finally did my list of adepts. I think it was last weekend. I went through and just had a blast, and I got 3 of the adept achievement unlocks for 3 different killers.
You can get the platinum.
I probably won't, just because I've been looking at some of the other hidden ones. Like some of the trophies in that game are insane. Like some of them are like, it's get the chest out of the basement in 100 different games. Like it's doable. It's just gonna take a really long fucking time. I think one of the ones I think one of the ones for the pig is put 100 head traps on people. Since you only start the average match with 4 head traps, that's a lot of matches. So yeah, it's not that
40 matches.
It's not undoable. Yeah, and how long did it take us to play, 5 matches last night after we got dropped 9 times with server errors?
We got dropped like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, getting through 20 matches and actually getting able to put 4 traps on 4 people, it's going to take some time. I'm not saying it's not doable. Just, a lot of the achievements on that game just will come with time just from playing and having fun. So I've been doing the adepts just because I enjoy them, and it's kind of a tricky thing to fucking play with just the character's main perks and then try to run out with them and win. Yeah, it's been fun. So yeah, doing that, and then I've been working on the artwork for the 2 commissions for last season's winner of the Fantasy Comic League. So I've got both of those sketched out, and they're ready to be inked and start doing Copics on them. So I'll be caught up, so that hopefully I can do them season by season now, not be a season behind. But yeah, been getting all that artwork done, and then my car tried to die on me, and I ended up dropping like $200 at Jiffy Lube. So I'm pissed and broke because this was going to be the mid-paycheck month with 3 paychecks where I get caught up on my credit cards. And instead, I had to buy a new battery and a fucking air filter and shit, and my car's still running like crap. My damn transmission's starting to like chug and not shift, so I'm scared.
Ooh, that's problematic. I had that in one of my old cars.
Well, and it's a $1,500 car. I'm not going to pay for a fucking new transmission. So I
wouldn't. No, it's more than the car's worth.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what I'm getting into.
Well, how exciting. Willie, what have you been getting into now that you're back home for a little bit?
What have I been getting into? I've been playing Breath of the Wild, and I did get some amiibos.
What did you get?
I got the a Samus one and a Link one.
Very nice.
Yeah, so because Smash is going to be coming out, so I'm pre-planning for that, and also the Link one, and I guess the Samus one also helps for Breath of the Wild, just to give you some shit. That's fun. Getting pretty far, getting those shrines up. I did last week. We were talking about, do I have enough hearts to do it? And apparently I did. I had exactly 13 when we talked about it, because I didn't add another one in. I was counting. I was like, oh, I do have 13. So I went right away and got the Master Sword. And it's kind of an okay weapon, I guess. It's not really that great. I mean, it breaks, then it just has to It
runs out of energy, basically.
Yeah, that's
to recharge.
And it's only 30 power. I was like, okay, that's just kind of all right. I was hoping it was going to be like at least 40 or 45 damage. That would make it worth it. Does it get powerful? More powerful?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
It's just a guaranteed
master
weapon.
sword. Sounds like a junior master sword.
I know. I'm a little disappointed in that, but oh well. What else have I been getting into? I've been playing some Dead by Daylight. Getting excited about the Detective Pikachu. I did get this movie last time I was in.
Side note, did you get Detective Pikachu for your DS?
No, I was thinking about it because I looked up gameplay last night. I was like, oh, this doesn't look fun at all. This looks way too cutie, and I just don't like it. So I at least did my research on it. I was thinking about it. But last time I was in town, I did stop at Best Buy and got this movie. Haven't watched it yet. I'm probably going to at some point in time today because I've never really heard of it much. Arizona, starring Danny McBride. I don't know anything about it. Didn't even read the back. I was like, Danny McBride. Sold. It was only $5.99. I'll take it.
What about American Willie?
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. I mean, I do have the DVD up there. Here, let me go reach up and grab it.
No, don't do it.
And then also because I had lost this movie before, and it was only $5 at Best Buy. I was like, I'm going to have to get this too. So I had to re-get The Lost Boys.
Nice. Oh, they finally did. Shit, what's Kiefer's name in that movie? I can't remember.
Oh, God.
Jack
The head
Bauer.
vampire. It's not Jack Bauer, but they finally did a Kiefer Sutherland in Lost Boys as a Funko Pop, and he's eating the like he's got the little tiny chopsticks and he's eating the noodles. It looks so cool. He's got the earring. He's got the fucking vicious white almost mohawk. Fucking cool looking.
Doesn't say it on the back. It just says Kiefer Sutherland and the boy.
I want to say it's David.
Oh, that sounds right. That does sound exactly right.
I think it's David and Michael. I think.
Yeah,
are the
Michael
two main
is. Yeah, they
characters.
mentioned his name.
Yeah, they did him as a Funko Pop from that movie. That looks so fucking cool.
How those worms you're eating, or maggots, whatever the fuck it was. What?
How are the
Ugh.
maggots, Michael? You're eating maggots.
Like that's just a shitty power for a vampire. I can make you see you're eating maggots.
Well, you can make people see anything. He was just fucking with them.
I know, that's just like you have this entire expanse of powers, and I'm just gonna fuck with this guy, make him think he's eating maggots.
Well, they can fly, and they use that ability to hang on the bottom of railroad tracks as a train goes over. Like
That's
that's
pretty
just,
cool.
that's just a weird. They use their powers in weird ways in that movie.
Oh, they also use it to sleep when they hang upside down.
The important thing is that they don't fucking sparkle.
Well, to be fair, the sparkling is not what the worst part about those vampires were in Twilight.
No, but it's a
To be
very
fair.
distinctive feature.
What the? I know I've been doing stuff. What about? Oh! I went to pub trivia Thursday night at a place called Geeksboro in Greensboro.
Did you win?
Technically, got second place.
So you didn't win.
Technically,
Were you ethically first?
well, I say technically second. I'll give it a beat.
That's the episode title right now. Were you ethically first?
I was technically second. I say technically because there was a tie for first and then also a tie for second.
So you're fourth.
So were you actually in fourth place?
Well, no, I mean technically we were in second or third place, I guess, because two first places that means it skips second. So I guess we were technically tied in third. I don't know.
Third and fourth.
You get when there's no third and fourth because we got the same amount of points.
Yeah. That's weird. So two different teams tied in two positions?
Yeah, I think we're just 2 points or 1 point behind the winners, like the two tied winners. But yeah, and it was very Stanley centric. The first round was he showed image, all but one were like images of Stanley cameos, and you had to name the movie. One of them was the "Welcome to the Stage, Chastity." That was the little GIF he showed.
Nice.
And I got one fucking wrong, and I was pissed at myself. It was Stanley and Lou Ferrigno walking out of a building, and I mistakenly thought it was the Incredible Hulk when it's just the Hulk. I feel so terrible because then it clicked and was like, because it's confusing because Lou Ferrigno is a security guard in both those cameos.
Yep.
In both movies. So you can kind of see, I don't feel as bad as I should.
You should feel
I
horrid.
mean, is that...
You're the worst,
You
Willie.
piece of shit.
You're the worst, and you're fired.
Actually,
Yeah.
another... Chris, you already saw this too. I actually, when I went to the bar to get a... I was actually, I'm going to get a beer here. Why not? I was looking at the draft beer, and I saw the name of this beer. I was like, I have to get this just because of this fucking name. Chris, do you remember what it was?
Is this the Jesus one?
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, Jesus. No, this was This is the title they had on the board. Clown ass dat dank purple.
I don't remember that.
Ugh.
You liked it on my thing. I thought you did.
I
Oh no, I think I just said I was at Geeksburg and you said yay or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's
I was like,
what I liked and commented on.
I thought I did that in one thing, but I guess it was two different ones. Yeah, clown ass dat dank purple. There's no colons in there. It's just all that. And I was like, I had to try it.
So
It is
fucking weird.
a sour beer. I guess it would be the classification of it. What bad. But then of course I got my red oak right after because red oak. If I do drink a beer, that's a beer to drink. And I had my 2 beers and I was like, I'm good on this. I don't need to drink any more this year. But yeah, that I'm still sad about that. God damn, I'm sad about that. Fucking Hulk. Fucking Hulk.
You're gonna be okay.
Am I?
I was asking as a question. I would assume you'll probably be okay. I don't know.
And then what I will be getting into is still convincing other friends to call that little kitten Lil Will.
Good luck.
Yeah, oh, it's gonna happen. It's just gonna stick. And they're gonna hate it. Hannah and James are gonna fucking hate it. But it's gonna happen.
You should start an internet campaign for it.
What is it? Change.org?
Yeah, we'll start a petition. I'll sign it.
Bachman will too.
Yeah, there you
The
go. You
little
get at least
Will-
2 signatures.
The Little Will out of spite campaign.
No, just Lil Lil.
Is there
Lil
an
Will.
apostrophe after the last L?
I'm you know what? I'm up in there. There can or can't be. I'm not a stickler about that.
He's
If
got
you add
some
it, you add
flexibility
it.
here, folks.
If you don't, there's anything you know about Willie?
Come
He's
on, that
flexible.
was not supposed to go down that path. No,
Except-
no.
Except there's one rule I will not break. That's wearing condoms.
Willie, when you get chlamydia, it's going to be your own damn fault. Let me rephrase. When you get chlamydia again, it's going to be your own damn fault.
Well,
I
I
mean-
mean, and somebody else.
I mean,
Takes
you
2
know,
to tango.
Well, I mean, they already know they would have it. I would hope.
Yeah, but it's also going to be their fault when they give it to you.
You know, that's fair. I'm not alone in the blaming.
Willie, be careful
Yeah.
around those lot lizards, okay? That's all we're saying.
I have yet to see a lot lizard. I want to
'cause they're
say,
working.
"Ah, there goes one right there. Oh my god!"
It's because they're working.
And after we talked about it, I did look up surprisingly there was on the subreddit Ask Reddit. There was someone asking like, "What's the weirdest thing?" Drivers of Reddit, what truck drivers of Reddit? What's the weirdest thing you ever seen at a truck stop? And sure enough, lot lizards did come up. One guy had a story. We're rated R podcast, right?
Yes.
At
Just
least.
a
Goddamn
little
right
bit.
we are. One guy, he was parked between 2 trucks, and he literally saw a lot lizard get out of one truck, and he saw the guy to his other side look and saw this other lot lizard as she was walking in front of his truck. She looks down, she reaches down and pulls out the used condom out of her vagina, throws it on the ground, and the other guy, seeing all this, he still says, "Yeah, come on.
Ugh.
Yeah, just come on over." I was like, Jesus Christ. At least the guy telling the story was not involved at all.
Kind of glad I haven't eaten yet today.
Well, Willie, thank you for sharing that best of Reddit feature with us.
Rated R podcast is what you get. It's what you pay for, people.
They don't pay.
Rated
for
R
anything.
for Ralph.
It's what you should pay for because we're going to start a Patreon.
I'm pretty sure that Patreon would depress us, but what do I know? That all being said, we have gone a lot over today. I think we've done about an hour and a half. So you get some bonus content for free today. So thank you everyone for joining us today for another episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget we stream live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern at 10 a.m. Central over on Geeks.live. That is the official streaming home of the Gonna Geek Network. If you head on over there today, there's at least 2 other shows you can catch this afternoon, but just scroll down to the bottom of the page. You'll see a calendar that shows you when all the other shows stream live on Geeks.live. We got tons of content for you. And hey, if you want to keep in touch with us or any of the other shows in the network, go to GonnaGeek.com/Discord. Join the Gonna Geek Discord channel. There is a channel within there for the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, so you can send us your hate mail, your suggested topics or just make fun of something on there, and we'll be sure to get back in touch with you.
Direct hate mail to @SouthPorky.
On Twitter @SouthPorky. So as we wrap this thing up, do you guys have any final thoughts for us?
May his memory be a blessing.
Excelsior.
Excelsior.
I was just gonna do a dick joke, but now you made me
Stanley
feel bad
University,
about it.
motherfuckers. Enough said.
So we found the way to counter Willie's dick jokes by talking about sad things. So this time we will actually shut
what
down
you
the
think.
show for real versus when I shut it down earlier when Willie was talking about mass genocide. That's right. We'll see you all
It
next
will
week.
happen.
Thank you
It
for
will
joining
happen.
us. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message @ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.